say people really should be looking more seriously at the social environment and getting their businesses positioned?
Well, it's really simple. First of all, my favorite word in the English language, free. Most of what you can do on social media is free. So that's the first reason you should be in there. The second reason is every business out there knows that their best leads, their best referrals come from friends and family of people who are their customers. That's who's on social media. Your customers have their friends and family on there. So
it's a pretty amazing network, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean you're right there. So it's you got free, and then you got access to someone's friends and social circles. Why shouldn't you be on social media? I mean,
exactly.
there's just no reason not to be. In fact, you're doing yourself damage if you're not.
And what's some experiences you've had in social media as far as success using your earning? I know you've run a dozen of businesses through there, and you work with a lot of companies and utilizing social media.
Yeah, we're working with a health and fitness company right now, and we've increased our documented return rate is a 368% increase in sales on the internet, and our sole and exclusive advertisement has been Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Fantastic. And so those, even though that's the three that everybody knows, I mean, how many networks are there out there, Mike?
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, you just got to know where to go, find out where your customers are hanging out.
But those main three are still kind of the big players, aren't they?
They are, but you know, we actually have over 75 other social media sites we're using on that campaign that I just told you about. We're using over 75 other social media sites to drive traffic to our sites as well.
Wow.
So for different niches and different purposes and different reasons.
So what can we tell everybody that would help them get a little better clue of where can they go to learn more about social media and what applications they should be using in their own businesses?
Well, they need to come to the Main Street Innovation Center and hear me speak. If you don't know what you're doing, please don't do it yourself. I had a client who signed him up for Twitter, and he's in the financing industry, and I showed him a few things, and I says, let's wait till next week till I can show you what you're doing. He calls me 3 days later and says, Twitter's banned me.
Really? Yeah.
So
what do
just
you do,
please don't do it yourself if you don't know what you're doing. There are rules, and he broke them all. I says, you know, you broke the big ones. You broke that rule, and that rule. Those are the ones that get you banned. Try to get you back, but I don't know that we can. So, you know, you really need to know what you're doing, because it'll actually do you more damage than good if you're not doing it right.
Okay, so here at the Main Street Innovation Center, we highlight Mike and all of his teachings in this, and there's classes that will be available. And Mike has his own consulting business that he can also help you independently and individually. And you can go to mainstreetinnovationcenter.com and find his link and information there, and be able to connect with Mike, and also get signed up with one of the classes here at the Innovation Center and start learning. There's a ton of things to learn. Mike, I'm sure we'll be talking to you more about some other things. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay. Here we are with Mike Waters again. Mike, thanks for dropping by again.
Yep, absolutely.
I'd like to talk about the YouTube environment today. Here at Main Street Innovation Center, we have a lot of programs that we can assist people in the learning process of social media marketing. And YouTube is, the more I look at YouTube, the more I work my channel, the more I utilize that, the more I really love that program. Mike, tell us a little bit about YouTube and the strengths of it, the powers of it, the things that you really like.
Well, YouTube is a video social network, and it is right now currently the only social network that actually indexes for Google.
Oh, really?
So that means that you can get YouTube videos ranked and on the homepage of Google. And I'll tell you right now, the reason why Google's doing that is because a video on the homepage will get outclicked 10 to 1 for a text link.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So if you're not on YouTube, you might as well just pack up and go home. I've got customers that we're putting on first and second page of Google with their video page, and their site traffic is spiking 300 to 500%.
Wow.
Just because people are getting on the internet, they're searching, and if they're going to go to a page where they got to read something, or they're going to a page where they got to view something, they're going to go to the page where they view something 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're all lazy. That's you know, we're all lazy. I'll watch it rather than read.
So how professional does a YouTube video have to be? If you're going to do YouTube video to post up online, what's the bottom end? What's the top end? Where should a person be on that to get the most effectiveness?
Well, no offense to your video guy. We're right now on the bottom end, and it's all good.
Yeah.
This is just fine. This is all you need.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot.
Okay.
If you're going to get self-conscious about it, then don't do it. You can produce some high-end stuff, and I've produced some high-end stuff with bumpers, trailers, graphics, spinners, all kinds of stuff. You can do that, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary when you just get started.
Okay, so your advice to people today is to get video, get some video, get it about your products, your services, your program, your project, whatever it is. Get it shot, get it on YouTube, and you're going to get some more response, bigger response out of that than probably anything else you do.
Absolutely. And if you get that, and that will index. That's the thing, is that will index on Google.
Okay.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand what indexing is, but I think most of the on the Guru side understand that. But indexing is when they, well, tell us what indexing is.
So basically, if you got a video on a topic, let's say mixed martial arts or accounting or whatever, and you get a video and it ranks and it's configured properly on YouTube, it will actually show up in search results on Google or Yahoo as an answer to a person's search. So if a person is typing in tax advice, you could actually have a video show up on that homepage before your regular page, which I actually recommend. And so then the person's clicking and they're watching a YouTube video, and then you can put whatever content you want in there.
So it's pulling video before it's pulling pages.
Google prefers it. Google knows that that's what people want.
Fantastic. Boy, that's a biggie. That's a biggie. Everybody needs to know that. Get their videos published and get your video cameras out. Do some shooting. Don't get too particular. It's good advice from Mike. Mike, appreciate you stopping by today. YouTube is the big thing to be doing. There's a number of different things, as you can tell. Mike is proficient in all social media. He's got a great background. He's available through our Main Street Innovation Center programs. So get on to mainstreetinnovationcenter.com and check him out today. Appreciate you coming by, Mike. Thanks, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay. Great guests with us here today that that help us in the educational process of bringing tradition and technology to life in your business. So we're going to visit with Lonnie and Craig, called the Hired Guns. How are you guys doing?
First off, we've got to start with the howdy.
Howdy. All right. I like that. That's how it happens right there. That's something we're going to be talking a lot about.
Absolutely.
You know, I've been really impressed with you guys since the day I met you back in a show or two.
1800s.
Back in 1800s, yeah, that was a good year, or so. But yeah, no, these guys have got a great concept that I want them to share with you, because here at the center, what they teach is going to be taught on a regular basis. They're going to be here to help us out doing a lot of things, and so I'd just like them to share some of their background with you, and with some of the things that, if you guys can just kind of tell us where you've been, what you're about, and just give us a little rundown on what the Hired Guns are all about.
Well, good. Bill, you know, we're advertising and marketing experts, and we've been in the advertising and marketing field for probably over 25 years. In fact, that's how we met. I had an ad agency in town, and we learned about marketing and advertising and what it takes to really bring a company out into the market and make them successful.
Helped a lot of companies brand themselves, understand what their brand meant. We were branding companies long before brand became a vogue term, you know, so to speak.
That hasn't always been business, has it?
No, it hasn't always been. No, and we've moved beyond that. Marketing is still a big part of what we do, but we're also corporate educators, corporate trainers, and that's part of what we're doing here at the Innovation Center.
You know, Bill, one of the things that we found as we were helping companies is that if you could find some kind of a unique selling proposition, USP is what we call it, and that's what you need to focus on. And with us, being Hired Guns, we approach marketing and advertising, and we approach the concept that we come up with from a little different position. And you can see we're kind of wearing our business cards. We're noticeable. What we've done is kind of approached our advertising from a little different. We use it as we utilize cowboy values and the concept of the cowboy, and we epitomize that in the way we dress.
Okay, you know, that's something that really drew me to you guys, is the brand you represent. And then when I listen to you talk the exact brand you represent. And that's one of the challenges businesses have today is, you know, what is our brand? How do we project ourselves? I mean, look at this this brand that you're looking at here, and look at your own businesses. So these guys really bring some powerful strategies together in a traditional format and that work just as well in any kind of technology that we do. And so we're anxious to hear more about you guys. So tell me a little bit more about when you're teaching. What's the direction you go with the classes that you with the seminars that you teach now?
Well, you talk about brands, and that's kind of what we've touched on here. But brands are very important, and so we start off by what we call writing for the brand. We say, what brand do you ride for? We go back and talk about cowboy brands and how that's evolved. And then we say, what brand do you ride for? Well, you know, you ultimately ride for your company, the company that you're with, but it really comes down to that one individual customer, and how do you ride well for that one customer?
Okay.
And then beyond that, and all, you know, obviously you've got lots and lots of customers, and every one of those customers expects you to be riding for them, making a difference for them. They have their own agendas, they have their own, you know, their own sets of needs. How do you ride well for all of those? So we take it even one step further, and we say, what excites you? What brand, you know, what do you get passionate about? What talents and abilities do you bring to the table that nobody else does that helps you make a difference for that one individual customer? And so we help you develop your own personal brand, and we base it on a cowboy brand, so that you actually design your own personal brand, you know, that represents what you get passionate about, your talents and abilities. But then, how does that then apply to making a difference? How do you bring those passions to bear to make a difference for those people that you're writing for, those customers, those clients that you work for?
Exactly.
Now there are traditional marketing kinds of techniques, and like Lanny said, for 25, 30 years we've been using those techniques.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
familiar
been
with
mass media. You know, it's been television, it's been radio, it's been outdoor billboards and those kinds of things, and those things still apply if you understand the concepts, if you understand the principles behind them. You know, identifying a target market, understanding who it is that you're trying to reach, and how your product can make a difference for that people,
Okay.
for that customer. But now there are new and exciting and innovative and free ways to reach those people that you kind of get a step beyond the tradition. The traditional principles still apply, and you still need to understand what those are, and that's what our part of the Main Street Innovation Center is to help you understand those traditional methods and traditional methodologies, and how you reach those target markets and how you identify them. But then we'll turn it over to the experts here that can really help you use social media to reach those people and make a difference for those people that you're writing for.
Fantastic. Appreciate that, you guys. That's what these guys are all about. That's what our Innovation Center is all about. Bringing tradition and technology together. We're going to I'll be talking here in just a bit with Mike Waters, bringing him into the mix here to show you the values of the traditional side of marketing that are enhanced by the digital side of marketing. So if you go to MainStreetInnovationCenter.com, you're going to see these guys on there. You're going to be able to tap into their resources. They're available to do training and camps and what do you call your work when you
Seminars, workshops.
Okay, they're available to businesses all up and down the Wasatch Front here and probably anywhere in the country. Yes,
Absolutely.
I think you just came back from a European trip.
We
or something,
did.
didn't you? Yeah. So these guys are all over the world. High value, high quality people here at the Innovation Center teaching you the best there is that you need to know to make your businesses work. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate you coming by.
Thank you, Bill.
We'll be chatting with you some more.
So good to be with you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, here we are at the Main Street Innovation Center again today. Got the hired guns with me and Mike Waters.
Howdy, Bill.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Okay.
Howdy, Bill.
We're getting the old howdy down.
Yep.
Yeah, howdy, howdy. And we're going to expand a little bit on that howdying again today, on how we express the branding process, what the difference between traditional branding and digital branding is. And so we're going to start out with the Cowboys and talk about, hey, what's traditional branding? Where did it all start and what's it all about?
Let's talk about brands. You know,
Okay.
there's a lot of, branding and brands, that's kind of the big buzzword nowadays. But if you go back to where they started, really it started with cowboys. Cowboys developed a simple brand that they would brand the side of their cow, whatever, to generate ownership. There's a lot of pride, a lot of meaning in that brand, and really that's where the brand evolved from, as a simple symbol that represented the cowboy's family, and pretty much what the cowboy stood for.
Okay, so it is really not a whole lot different than what we're kind of talking about today, is it?
Not
Okay.
different at all. In fact, you know, you take the next step, and we talk about branding, and that's really where that term came from. But then we took the next step. Well, if it's my brand, that's the brand I want to put on my company. So, and so, you know, I guess you start with a logo. But boy, a brand is far beyond just a logo, just a company logo, because a brand represents, kind of like it represents that family and everything that family stood for, that ranching family. And when you saw that brand on that cow, you could tell by looking at that cow what kind of a cowboy that was. Now, hopefully, you look at my company brand, and that represents something. When you see that brand, that represents my company, the whole company experience. It's how I'm greeted when I walk through the door. If it's a bank, it's how the teller treats me when I go in and make a transaction. It's how I'm treated, you know, during that transaction. It's the follow-up afterwards. A brand goes far beyond just that company logo, but the logo is certainly a place to start, but it grows far beyond that.
Okay.
Something to keep in mind too is the simpler the better. And if you think about logos now, the more complex that logo is, the easier it is to forget.
Yeah.
And in the old days, a simple brand was the easiest, and you know, you figure you get this big complicated thing, that cow is going to see that coming and just going to take off. That's the last thing you want on them. So the simpler the better, and nowadays even the simple brands are the ones that are most remembered.
Yeah. Yeah. They are like the little.
Or like a
Swoosh.
even a simple thing with a little leaf out of the top of it, and maybe a bite out of the side of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Does that sound familiar at
That's
all?
the king of all brands. That's Apple.
That absolutely.
There's this one thing. It's just an apple with a bite, and that's it.
Yeah.
But what does that represent?
Well, it represents a club. It represents a community. It represents a meaningful integration of human and device together. It represents a whole, I mean, there's just a whole brand there. It's a whole experience. And when people buy into that brand, when they write the check for that first Apple product, they become this Apple, I call them cult members. And they're drones, and they love the product. And Apple doesn't have to defend their product. Because you go out on the internet and you say something bad about an Apple product, and you've got a whole bunch of ranchers for the Apple brand that'll say, whoa, 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 partner, that ain't true. Let me tell you what it is. Bam, bam, bam. And it's an amazing thing when you see it working. And they're the most capitalized company. I mean, they're more than the oil companies. They got more cash because they got a brand that is unmistakable.
It's a $500 billion company.
Yep.
Just read about it yesterday. It's the biggest company in the world.
But when I own an Apple product, I'm just not owning that Apple product. I become a part of that Apple family.
That's right.
It's lifestyle. Right. It's how when I show that I own an iPad, it says something about me. It says I'm better than you are because you don't have one, and it really that's all part of that Apple.
Guys were buying iPhones to pick up girls at bars because look what I got, and the girls will let me see that, and it's a brand.
It's like driving a Mercedes. It's like driving a Corvette. It's like
Yeah.
it's those things that just stand out and
Yeah.
represent a group of people, or sometimes even a whole era of people.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I reckon any of the cows in my herd would be proud to have an Apple branded on their
Absolutely.
on their hides.
Well, as you can see, branding is important, and today especially, who we are, what we represent, what we do with our businesses, is so important to people. The number one thing, Mike, tell me, what do people do when they are getting ready to buy a product? What's the first thing that the average person does nowadays?
3 to 5 searches on reviews, and they check up on the company.
Okay.
They read about the company. The first three to 5, the average customer will make between 3 and 5 decisions online that are not related to the company. So that means if you're going to buy a Chevy online, that means that customer's going to go to 3 to 5 places other than Chevy.com to find out about it.
Okay, so when they're finding out about it, what are the resources? What are they looking for? Who are they talking to? What are they looking at to find out that information?
Well, here's the bad news, Bill. If they're not out there engaging the customers there, it's whoever wants to say whatever they want to say. And that is actually a huge problem for businesses today. Is they've got literally droves and droves and droves of negative information or untrue information or inaccurate information or not brand-worthy information about them that they have not even bothered to look up, challenge, and fix.
And most of it because they're afraid to put it on their website so people can express it on their site so they can see who's talking negatively about them because they're scared to death of it. And how should they address that?
You can't fear it. It's already happening.
How did we used to address it in the old days? You know, when somebody was saying bad stuff about us, what happened?
We just arrest them and hang them. easy solution.
You know, if you were smart, you'd seek that person out and resolve that concern. It really, if you look at it in the right way, it becomes an opportunity to solve a problem and make a difference and gain a loyal customer for life. But so often, then and now, it's easy to turn your face and try to ignore it and hope that it goes away. But it doesn't go away.
No, the life on the internet is eternity. One of the things I wanted to say, Bill, is that one of the things that people need to understand is brands in the past 10 years and moving forward are doing the same phase that our pets have. Our pets went from outside chained up to inside the house to now sleeping on the bed to now having their own clothes. Okay? Customers are wanting to interact. Yes. Customers are now wanting to interact with their brands in the exact same way. They're not wanting it to be something that's chained up outside. They're wanting to bring it in the house. They're wanting it to be a part of their lives at every level. And they only do that if you allow your brand to be that lovable and warm and friendly.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, if I'm the average business person that doesn't understand any of this kind of thing, how do I learn how to do that? Where do I go to learn how to make, to build that brand and to make that brand lovable and out there where people say good things about me, so that you want to purchase from me when you go online and do some research? How do they learn?
Perfect segue. Appreciate that, Craig. Main Street Innovation Center is the place to go. These guys are here. We've got a whole team of experts that are going to be here to help you understand what it really takes to get your business out there in front of your customers, good or bad customers. Get them out there and react with those customers. It's all about building customers, and those customers are all about finding the businesses they want to deal with. And you know what? They want to deal with local business. And right now, 75 to 80% or more local businesses are not online, and we want to get you there. We want to help you figure out how to get your business in line. We've brought all these great people together here at the center that can really teach you exactly what you need to know. No guesswork. These guys have been there, done that a number of times. And we want to share that information with you and help you get your businesses out there. MainStreetInnovationCenter.com. Come and see us. Check these guys out. You can resource with them all day long. Get them into your own environment. We just get things started here and help you find a way to success in your business today. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate your input.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Absolutely.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Bill.
You betcha.
Thanks, guys. My kind of peeps.
All right.